You don't get much daylight in Orkney at this time of year, but it takes more than a bit of darkness to stop Gary Green. He's headed off to the north coast for several days wildfowling with Black Islander Sporting. We head out to a likely location on some farmland a short way from the sea, getting in position just before dawn. Our guide Magnus sets out the plan of attack.
Well, here we are at last after a 17-hour journey in Orkney at St Margaret's Hope with Magnus Norquay. Sorry about that. And it's a bit fresh out there, to say the least, you can see. The most interesting for me is when did you first start shooting? Obviously, you've been here all your life.
Probably start shooting with my father when I was probably 7, 8 year old, you know.
Uh-huh. And when did you actually first shoot your first geese?
Geese was kind of later on, so we were mainly shooting ducks because there was very few geese. You know, like if you got a goose, it was quite a novelty to see a goose, never mind shoot one. But in the old days, you'd be following geese about, hoping they landed, kind of.
Right.
See them 3 or 4 fields off, you'd make your way down the ditch, crawl, just do whatever you had to get in range to get a shot at the goose. I think they're talking about 30,000 birds or something.
Right, so you've got 30,000 resident geese.
Yeah, well, I don't know what that'll be next year if they're all having 5 or 6 each, like each pair, you know.
And there's nothing done with that?
They've got a cull going.
They have?
They do have a cull going, you know, but I don't know if it's a success or not. They mess up the fields, like they leave a lot of mess. They platter the field up and pull the grass up by the roots. And really, I think a lot of farmers believe it, like the animals don't like eating the grass after the geese either. Well, just now, like the geese is all spread out because of the shooting. They're getting shot a lot. The east end of the island, there's some boys that are locally shooting that heavy. So I mean, they push the geese out here, and then when they get shot a bit more here, they'll push them back. And you've got other ones that are shooting up west a lot, and they're pushing. The geese is just moving around until they get a bit of peace for a wee while, you know. And
a bit like the wood pigeon shooting, similar sort of thing.
I mean, you'll get the highlights here for a few weeks, and then they'll go quiet till you find them, till they get back, or just keep them moving, you know.
And you get some good bags on the geese here with your clients?
Can do, yeah.
Yeah, what sort of bags can you get?
Just depends. I mean, a lot of clients only wanting 2 or 3 birds a morning, so they shoot with that, then stop early. Or you get some farms that's wanting them shot off because it's like local geese, so you can shoot anything up to a bag of 100 or more, or some mornings. Right conditions.
Oh, so it's there, the sport's there.
Oh, it's there,
and the pest control side of it's there as well, in amongst that.
Yeah. You could shoot geese 7 days a week here, or 6 days to be.
Yeah, I can appreciate
Sunday
that.
off. Huh?
Yeah.
But I mean, you get tired of shooting geese, but it's good taking folk out with no shot geese.
Yeah.
And they get a big bag of geese, and there's just over the moon, you know, there's nothing better than that.
Yeah,
that's actually better than shooting geese for silks.
Yeah, I can relate to that with the pigeon shooting that I've done over the past. It's nice to give people days that have never had a good day. I've only ever shot Canada's because we're swarmed of them down home. And I've had some good days on them myself, but that's all daytime shooting. That's all sort of nice and comfortable in a hide behind a bale, and none of this laying down on the floor with all these sort of temperatures and changes of weather. But no, it's certainly a good challenge. I'm enjoying that. But it's a whole new swerve on it for me, as I say. The whole thing, the surroundings, the company, you know, me learning rather than teaching as well, which is quite interesting. I enjoy coaching stuff and that, and showing people how to lay decoys out. But no, it's a lot of good tips I've picked up this morning.
That's just the waiting game, you know. You kind of try and find the geese first, get set up, and hopefully they'll come on back to the same field. But sometimes it works better than other times, you know, like.
Yeah, we had some literally first light, didn't we? As soon as the light started lifting, they was there as we were setting up.
Yeah, I think a few geese was sitting over the rise of the field when we got there, because they were lifting. Again, because it was such a still night last night.
Yeah.
Like, if you get a still night, they'll just sit down, you know, if there's a bit of clear sky, they'll lay in the field. Just because of the shooting pressure, they're changing their habits a little bit, so they'll feed through the night in a full moon, they'll never come off the fields in the moon.
I noticed you keep them all in pillowcases. What's your main reason for doing that?
That's just mainly to help the lifespan of the decoy and save me having to clean them as well.
Yeah, yeah. What, and stop them rubbing together and stopping the sort of flock getting rubbed off.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying about the white on those geese. that it's very important to keep that clean.
Yeah, well, I think, like if your decoy's turning into the wind anyway,
Yeah.
you know, your geese when they're approaching, seeing the back end, so your
Yeah.
decoys mostly, and it's a white.
Identification mark, a bit like wood pigeon shooting really, with the sort of white bars on the wings.
Yeah, well, if you look at any flock of geese, the first thing you spot them by is their white tails.
The flashes, yeah. No, it's a good comparison that, but it's a good tip with the old pillowcase is what you're doing. Well, laying in the hides, interesting. I'm afraid I think I've spoilt myself with a fox box. There's no central heating or cups of tea out there.
Oh yeah, I mean you'll get 4 seasons in one day here, no bother.
Yeah, I felt that today.
Yeah, right.
That's soft southern boys.
That was cold today because, like, this is our first with that sleety weather, which just knocks temperature down when you get that kind of wind chill. When you get wet, you feel it more anyway.
Yeah.
That kind of put the geese off a bit today too. Like the geese, they look like they're going to come at the start, and then when we get that hilly shore, it just stop dead.
Yeah.
They just settle halfway or whatever suits them and stay there then, you know.
Yeah, shooting them in that position that you sit into is quite weird at first, but you soon sort of settle into that, especially with those semi-autos, because they're quite forgiving in the shoulder, so you're not suffering a load of recoil.
They're quite quick as well to swing them.
Yeah, no.
Out in the field, the boys lie in wait in their decoy coffins. Magnus has done this 100 times before, but Gary seems a little nervous. This is a far cry from his heated fox box. What we desperately need is an early flight to ease his apprehension. With the deeks out and the guns well camouflaged in their coffins, the situation looks promising. Orkneys is famed as a goose shooting destination, but we're anxious to see the first action of the morning. This is a long way to travel to strike out. Finally, we get our first taste of goose shooting Orkney style.
It's sort of a surprise for everyone, I think, when we all come bursting out of the ground like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's good fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
You should just forget the body of the goose when you're shooting. Just look at it like the head, like a teal or someone, and just pull a head and try and get a pellet in the head or neck. That's the thing too, a lot of wind. If you're goose, you might look like he's stopped.
Yeah.
But you still have to give them the same lead, if no more, because you've got the windage.
Yeah, that's a thing that a lot of people don't pick up.
Yeah, they think the goose is standing still with the fire straight at it.
Yeah, because it's a big bird, they think it's slow, but it's actually one of the faster birds, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the shooting position I thought was going to be really difficult, but actually it was quite comfortable. Weird, but once I got the first few shots off, I hit the first one, killed that and missed the second one with both barrels what I'd left. But no, it was, I sort of propped up into it quite easy. I didn't have to think about it too much. You're sort of in a sort of a sat up position at the back, and you've got like this gauze that you're looking through with the doors that you close.
We never thought Gary was one to lie down on the job, but he seems to be doing rather well from that position. Another skein comes into range and Gary manages to pick out a bird.
Over there. And actually, you're sort of communicating with Magnus and Liam, and it's sort of, they're keeping you in touch with what's going on. I was in the middle of these two guys, and it was just no problem at all. You can have a little sort of look left, right, and out in front of you, and you can see what's coming in, even if it's 3 foot off the ground at that point.
It's time to retrieve the shot geese and for Gary to get some fresh air. And it certainly is fresh. The gale makes it hard to have a conversation, let alone shoot. This isn't the biggest bag in the world, but as shooting experience goes, it's been hard to beat. Plus we can already start looking forward to the evening flight.
We had a few, didn't we? But what amount, if they was coming in, could we have shot a sort of really big bag there, you reckon?
It wasn't the field we were going to get a big bag off of, it was just a kind of field that the geese was steady going to, you know.
Yeah.
But we'll try it again and see if we get a big bag the next time. And we didn't get a big bag of geese today, but it's a good night for night shooting. And night shooting is what we used to do most of, you know. We never did too much morning shooting because there was never an amount of geese, you know. So kind of night shooting's what we like, you know, and it's fine to slip off the small pond and get a good bag of birds, you know.
So I'm going to be under pressure tonight then to see if I can shoot a few in the dark, literally, with you guys.
That's what sorts of boys who would come up for down the road.
We head back to base to prepare for the next Orkney wildfowling experience. By then, perhaps the birds will be coming in more readily, and perhaps Gary will have adjusted himself to the Scottish weather. He is a southerner after all. Either way, we'll follow the next flight soon on The Shooting Show.